For years, Lil Wayne called Birdman his father figure. He trusted him with his money, his masters, and his future. Together, they built Cash Money Records into a hip-hop empire. But behind the platinum plaques and luxury lifestyles, a financial war was quietly unfolding. One that would trap Lil Wayne in contracts, freeze his music, and allegedly cost him hundreds of millions of dollars. This isn't industry gossip. This is a timeline of how one of the greatest rappers alive ended up fighting his own label boss for control of his career. Cash Money's rise and Wayne's loyalty. In the mid-1990s, Cash Money Records was a local New Orleans label run by brothers Brian Birdman Williams and Ronald Slim Williams. They weren't corporate executives. They were street-smart hustlers who understood distribution and marketing before most independents did. In 1995, they signed an 11-year-old Lil Wayne, placing him in the group Hot Boys alongside Juvenile, Turk, and BG. Wayne grew up inside the label. Birdman wasn't just his boss, he was family. That loyalty would later become the most powerful weapon used against him. In 1998, Cash Money signed a historic distribution deal with Universal Records worth $30 million, one of the largest deals for an independent label at the time. Under the agreement, Cash Money received millions up front, owned its masters, and distributed through Universal while keeping control. Wayne was a core asset of that deal, but as a minor, he had no leverage, no lawyers of his own, and no seat at the table. The contract nobody talked about. As Wayne's career exploded in the early 2000s, so did Cash Money's profits. Albums like The Carter, The Carter II, and The Carter III didn't just succeed, they defined an era. By the time The Carter III dropped in 2008, Wayne was one of the biggest artists in the world, selling over 1 million copies in its first week. But here's the key detail most fans didn't know at the time. Lil Wayne was still under the same Cash Money contract he signed as a teenager, a contract that reportedly paid him a fraction of what he generated. According to Wayne himself, Birdman controlled the label's finances, accounting, and payouts. Wayne received advances and lifestyle perks, but the real money, publishing, masters, back-end profits, remained locked inside Cash Money's structure. Over time, Wayne began to realize something didn't add up. Wayne builds his own empire. In 2005, Lil Wayne launched Young Money Entertainment, signing artists like Drake, Nicki Minaj, and Tyga. On paper, this looked like Wayne finally stepping into ownership and independence. In reality, Young Money was still under Cash Money's umbrella, with Birdman retaining financial control and final authority. This meant something crucial. Even though Wayne discovered and developed some of the most profitable artists in music history, Birdman still sat above him in the hierarchy. As Drake and Nicki exploded globally, the money flowing through Young Money became enormous. Touring, endorsements, records, and publishing. Wayne believed he was entitled to a significant share as the label's founder and creative force. But Cash Money allegedly controlled the accounting, distribution of funds, and payment schedules. By the early 2000s, insiders began whispering that Wayne was owed tens of millions, possibly far more. The Carter V freeze. The breaking point came in 2014 with the Carter V. The album was finished, marketed, and scheduled for release. Fans were ready. Then, nothing happened. Cash Money refused to release the album. Wayne publicly expressed frustration, confusion, and anger. On social media, he stated that Birdman and Cash Money were blocking the release despite the album being complete. Behind the scenes, Wayne claimed the label owed him $51 million in unpaid royalties and advances. This wasn't just a delay, it was leverage. By freezing the Carter V, Birdman effectively locked Wayne out of his own momentum. No album meant no tour. No tour meant no leverage. And without leverage, Wayne couldn't force renegotiation. The lawsuit that shocked hip-hop. In January 2015, Lil Wayne sued Cash Money Records for $51 million, accusing Birdman of breach of contract and withholding payments. The lawsuit alleged that Cash Money failed to pay royalties and intentionally blocked the album's release. This was unprecedented. Wayne wasn't just another artist, he was the face of the label. As the legal battle unfolded, more details emerged. Wayne suggested that Cash Money had received hundreds of millions from Universal over the years, including advances tied to Young Money's success. Money he claimed never reached him. While the exact number remains disputed, industry analysts and insiders have estimated that Wayne's lost earnings over his career could reach $300 million when factoring in masters, royalties, publishing, Young Money profits, and frozen opportunities. The silent giant behind the deal. To understand how Lil Wayne's situation became so explosive, you have to look beyond Birdman and Cash Money to the major corporation in the background, Universal Music Group. Universal wasn't Wayne's label directly, they had a distribution deal with Cash Money. That distinction matters because Universal paid Cash Money, not Lil Wayne. Over the years, Universal reportedly paid Cash Money hundreds of millions of dollars in advances, renewals, and incentive-based payouts tied to album performance and overall label success. Young Money artists, especially Drake and Nicki Minaj, were driving massive global revenue during this period. From Universal's perspective, they paid exactly who the contract told them to pay. Wayne's problem wasn't that Universal didn't pay, it was that Cash Money allegedly didn't pass the money down in a transparent or timely way. This is where Wayne's accusations cut deep. He claimed that Birdman controlled the books, delayed payments, and used contractual power to keep Wayne financially dependent while the empire grew around him. Where the $300 million number comes from. The $300 million figure didn't come from one missing paycheck. It's an aggregate estimate built from multiple revenue streams over nearly 2 decades. First, there's recording royalties. Wayne released multiple platinum and multi-platinum albums under Cash Money, yet his royalty rate, locked in when he was young, was far below industry standards for a superstar. Over time, that gap alone represents tens of millions. Second, there's publishing. Wayne was not just a performer, he was a prolific songwriter. Publishing income accumulates slowly but relentlessly. If publishing splits were misreported, delayed, or underpaid, the losses compound year after year. Third, and most importantly, there's Young Money. Wayne created the label, discovered the talent, and served as its creative engine. Drake alone became one of the highest-grossing artists in music history. If Wayne's share of Young Money profits was reduced, frozen, or redirected under Cash Money's structure, the lost upside could be enormous, easily pushing the total damages into 9-figure territory. Finally, there's opportunity cost. The Carter Five was held hostage for years. During that time, Wayne lost tours, sponsorships, momentum, and negotiating leverage. In the music industry, timing is money, and Wayne's timing was forcibly stopped. Put together, industry insiders argue that while the exact number is debatable, the scale of the loss is not. Whether it's $200 million, $300 million, or more, the damage was generational. The settlement. In 2018, after years of delays, lawsuits, and public tension, Lil Wayne and Cash Money finally reached a settlement. The Carter Five was released later that year, 5 years after it was originally finished, and debuted at #1. Shortly after, Wayne announced he had settled with Cash Money and Universal, and was officially free from his Cash Money contract. Reports indicated that Universal paid Wayne a substantial sum, widely reported to be around $100 million, to resolve outstanding disputes and buy him out. But here's the uncomfortable truth. Even if Wayne received $100 million, that doesn't mean he won. It means he recovered a portion of what he believed he was owed, after losing years of his prime, creative momentum, and financial control. Settlements don't establish guilt, they establish closure, and closure often comes at a discount. Who owns what today? After the settlement, Lil Wayne launched Young Money as a fully independent entity, later partnering with Republic Records under far more favorable terms. For the first time in his career, Wayne had real control over his releases, finances, and future. Birdman retained Cash Money in its catalog, but the era of total control over Wayne was over. Wayne didn't get his youth back. He didn't get the lost years of silence back. But he got something arguably more important: ownership and autonomy. Whether you call it theft, exploitation, or ruthless business depends on perspective. But one thing is undeniable. Lil Wayne generated an empire he didn't fully control, and the people above him profited massively from that imbalance.